She had nothing left but the clothes soaked by the rain, and one desperate request: please, don't give me money, just give me work. What the widowed rancher did next changed two broken lives forever. Stay until the end, because this unforgettable Wild West story proves that one act of kindness can create a family where none existed before. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming Wild West stories that restore your faith in humanity. The rain had fallen since dawn, turning the ranch road into a river of mud. Thomas Hale, a respected widowed rancher, guided his wagon home after selling cattle in the nearest town. Since losing his wife 3 years earlier, silence had become his closest companion. Every trip ended the same way, with an empty house waiting for him. As lightning flashed across the dark sky, something unusual caught his eye near the entrance to his ranch. A young woman stood motionless beside the split rail fence. Her dark green dress clung to her from the heavy rain, her hair was soaked, and a small cloth bag rested at her feet. She wasn't waving for help, she wasn't begging. She simply stood there as though she had run out of places to go. Thomas pulled the wagon to a stop. "Miss, you'll freeze out here." The woman slowly lifted her eyes. They were tired but determined. "I don't need charity," she whispered. "I only need work." Those words surprised him. Most travelers asked for food or money. She asked for neither. Thomas climbed down from the wagon and handed her his dry coat. She hesitated. "I'll return it." "You can return it after you're warm." She wrapped the coat around herself, but refused to climb into the wagon until Thomas promised she would earn every meal. "My name is Emily." "Thomas." No more words were needed. The road home felt strangely different. For the first time in years, Thomas wasn't returning alone. As thunder echoed over the valley, Emily quietly stared toward the weathered barn, wondering if this ranch would become another place that pushed her away, or the first place that gave her a chance. Morning sunlight finally broke through the clouds. Emily woke before sunrise without anyone asking. She swept the porch, fed the chickens, scrubbed cooking pots, repaired torn blankets, and even organized the neglected pantry. Thomas watched from the barn without saying a word. She never complained. She never expected praise. She simply worked. Days became weeks. The ranch slowly changed. Flowers appeared beside the porch. Fresh bread filled the kitchen with warmth. Broken fences were painted. Even the horses seemed calmer around her gentle voice. One evening, Thomas found Emily sitting alone beneath the old oak tree. "You miss someone," he quietly said. She nodded. "My parents died years ago." She paused. "The family that took me and only wanted another worker. They threw me out after the harvest." Thomas understood that kind of loneliness better than anyone. "I lost my wife." The silence between them no longer felt empty. It became understanding. Neighbors soon noticed Emily living at the ranch. Rumors spread across town. Some claimed she wanted Thomas's land. Others insisted she would leave once winter arrived. Neither of them answered the gossip. Instead, they kept repairing fences, feeding cattle, sharing simple dinners, laughing a little more each evening. One rainy afternoon, Thomas discovered Emily sewing one of his late wife's old quilts. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought it deserved to be used again instead of gathering dust." Thomas gently smiled. So did she. That was the first time either of them truly believed healing might be possible. Winter arrived with deep snow covering the ranch, transforming the rolling hills into a peaceful blanket of white. Months had passed since the storm that brought Emily to Thomas's gate. The lonely house no longer echoed with silence. Instead, it was filled with laughter, the smell of fresh bread, and the comforting sound of boots crossing the wooden floor each morning. Lanterns glowed warmly every evening, and the once forgotten home had become a place where kindness lived in every corner. Thomas often caught himself smiling for no reason at all, something he had not done since losing his wife. Emily had not simply helped repair the ranch. She had slowly brought life back into it. The people in town noticed the change as well. Those who had once whispered about Emily now greeted her with respect whenever she visited the general store. Families invited her to church gatherings. Children ran to hug her whenever she arrived, and even the oldest ranchers admitted they had judged her unfairly. Through quiet patience and honest work, Emily had earned something far more valuable than acceptance. She had earned their trust. One crisp afternoon, Thomas invited Emily to ride with him to the highest hill overlooking the ranch. The sky was bright blue after days of snowfall, and sunlight sparkled across the frozen fields. Below them stretched healthy cattle, newly repaired barns, grazing horses, and smoke rising peacefully from the ranch house chimney. It was the same ranch Thomas had owned for years, yet somehow it felt completely different. "This place changed because of you," Thomas said softly as they looked over the valley. Emily smiled through tears and gently shook her head. "No," she answered. "It changed because you opened the gate when everyone else closed theirs." Thomas looked at her quietly before reaching into the pocket of his old leather coat. He removed a small iron key worn smooth by time. "My wife once told me that a house only becomes a home when someone fills it with kindness," he said. "After she passed away, I locked away not only this house, but my heart. I thought no one would ever bring warmth back into either of them." He carefully placed the old key into Emily's trembling hands. "I can't erase your painful past," he continued, "and you can't erase mine. But if you'll stay here, you'll never have to wonder where you belong again. This ranch is your home now, not because you earned it through hard work, but because you're family." Emily could no longer hold back her tears. For months she had secretly feared that each sunrise might be the day Thomas thanked her and asked her to leave. Instead, he had given her the one thing she had searched for her entire life: a place where she was wanted, loved, and accepted without conditions. Without saying a word, she embraced him tightly as gentle snowflakes drifted around them. Neither of them needed grand speeches. Both understood that healing sometimes arrives quietly, through simple acts of compassion repeated day after day. Years later, travelers passing through the valley often spoke about the happiest ranch in the territory. They admired the healthy cattle, the welcoming porch, and the warm meals always waiting for strangers. Some believed Thomas had rescued a lonely woman during a rainstorm long ago, but those who truly knew their story always smiled and corrected them. "No," they would say, "they rescued each other. Because family is not always the one you're born into. Sometimes family is the person who sees your broken heart and chooses to stay anyway. Sometimes one open gate, one warm meal, one kind promise, or one small act of compassion is enough to completely change two lives forever." And on that quiet ranch beneath the endless western sky, Thomas and Emily proved that love built on kindness can heal even the deepest wounds, turning strangers into family and giving two lonely souls the home they had both been searching for all along. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still believes kindness can change a life. Until next time, may hope always find its way to your door.